Humans have had to adjust to the presence of dinosaurs on the mainland 4 years after they were released. After grabbing a cage of fish with its jaws, the Mosasaurus is seen pulling a fishing boat down. Many people have died as a result of dino-related incidents, and while many people believe that all prehistoric animals should be extinct, others have found a way in the black market to illegally sell and distribute all captured prehistoric animals. The government transfers control to Biosyn Genetics, a company led by Lewis Dodgson, Campbell Scott, with the promise of keeping the dinosaurs at a sanctuary in Italy's Dolomite Mountains for further pharmaceutical research. The news also reports that Maisie Lockwood, Isabella Sermon, has vanished after a true identity as a clone was revealed. Claire Deering, Bryce Dallas Howard, and Zia Rodriguez, Daniela Pineda, save a baby dinosaur from an illegal breeding site at a facility in Nevada. They join Franklin Webb, Justice Smith, as they flee in a van, but security guards pursue them until the three escape. Franklin and Zia tell Claire that they can no longer do this type of work and that, while they support Claire in her endeavors, they are moving on to safer jobs. Owen Grady, Chris Pratt, is riding a horse to wrangle a large dinosaur somewhere near the snowy mountains of Nevada. He then returns to the cabin he shares with Claire and Maisie, as he and Claire are now her adoptive parents. Although Maisie enjoys venturing away from home to see the dinosaurs on land, Claire and Owen try to keep her hidden for fear of being pursued. This irritates her, and she has developed an interest in Charlotte Lockwood, from whom she was cloned. In the woods, mercenaries led by Rain Delacourt, Scott Hayes, are spying on them, with Maisie as their target. Blue the raptor has asexually reproduced a child not far from the cabin, who Maisie later names Beta. They go hunting as a group. A massive swarm of locusts is chasing 2 children in Texas. Ellie Sattler, a paleobotanist, is alerted to this, Laura Dern. She goes to the farm where the locusts attacked and ate all the crops. Ellie learns from the children's mother that Biosyn plants the nearby crops that were unaffected by the locusts. Dr. Alan Grant, Sam Neill, who is working with other aspiring paleontologists, reunites Ellie. She brings a captured locust to him and explains the situation, fearing that they will disrupt the food chain if they spread. Alan and Ellie reason that Biosyn must have created them so that only their crops remain. Ellie requests Alan's assistance in obtaining DNA from another locust at the Biosyn sanctuary. Dr. Ian Malcolm, an old friend of theirs, had already invited her, Jeff Goldblum. Despite his reservations, Alan eventually agrees to join. Blue and Beta return to the cabin and encounter Owen, Claire, and Maisie. They are all taken aback to learn that Blue has become a mother. The mercenaries make their move quickly and capture Beta. Maisie rides her bike across the bridge and is kidnapped by the villains as well. Owen notices this and instructs Claire to pursue them. Claire claims to know someone who can assist them. Claire contacts Franklin, who is now employed by the CIA. He gives them information on Delacourt and refers them to Owen's former Jurassic World co-worker, Barry Sembin, Omar Sy, who can help them get to wherever the mercenaries are taking Maisie and Beta. When Alan and Ellie arrive at the sanctuary, they meet Ramsey Cole, Mamudu Athi, the head of communications for Biosyn. He introduces them to Dodgson, who assures them that they are working on something revolutionary and groundbreaking. Alan and Ellie are led to Ian, who is giving a lecture. Following that, he joins them and quietly informs Ellie that the locusts are indeed part of a sinister plot by Biosyn. In the meantime, Dodgson meets with Dr. Henry Wu, B.D. Wong, who has since become remorseful of his actions in assisting in the continuation of these experiments, as he observes the locusts growing at an alarming rate. Sonoya Santos, Deacon Lockman, a Dodgson associate, calls him in Malta to inform him that Maisie and Beta have been transported separately to Biosyn HQ. Owen and Claire also arrive and join Barry. He transports them to a dinosaur ring, where animals are sold, eaten, or forced to fight. Claire meets Kayla Watts, DeWanda Wise, a vendor flying pilot. She warns Claire not to annoy anyone there, but eventually agrees to assist Claire in finding Maisie. During this time, Owen and Barry remain hidden and observe Delacourt meeting with Santos to smuggle Atrociraptors. Delacourt and his men are confronted and fought by the two. Owen commands him to tell him where Maisie and Beta are, but he only gives him Santos' name before being devoured by dinosaurs in the fighting ring. Claire fights Santos and discovers Maisie is on her way to Biosyn, and she outruns a loose dinosaur before joining Kayla. Santos is apprehended by Barry, but not before she unleashes one of her dinosaurs on Owen, who is riding his motorcycle to catch up with Claire and Kayla. He boards Kayla's plane just as she is about to take off with Claire, and he uses the motorcycle to knock the dino off the ramp and into the ocean. Maisie arrives at headquarters and meets Wu. He tells her that, while she is a clone of Charlotte, she is also her biological daughter because she gave birth to her. Maisie watches a video of Charlotte, Elva Trill, when she was pregnant with Maisie. Charlotte had a genetic disease, but she was able to change Maisie's DNA to remove all traces of it. Wu believes that by studying Maisie's DNA, he will be able to reverse the locust outbreak by modifying their DNA. Alan and Ellie break into the containment room to give the locusts a DNA sample, just as Maisie attempts to flee with Beta. Dodgson sounds the alarm, causing the locusts to swarm around Alan and Ellie, but they escape safely. They meet Maisie, who recognizes them. She runs alongside them. Ramsey discovers them and agrees to assist them because he believes Biosyn's work is unethical. He transports them to safety on a monorail. Ellie tells Maisie that she knew Charlotte as a student and describes her as brilliant and kind. Kayla's plane is attacked in the air by a real Quetzalcoatlus, forcing Claire to eject and fall into the trees after her parachute is ripped. Owen and Kayla collide in an ice lake nearby. They attempt to cross it safely, but are pursued by another dinosaur. They make it across in time and head off to find Claire. She climbs down the tree, but she must do so quietly in order to avoid a pyroraptor that has been stalking her in the forest. Owen and Kayla hide as the T-Rex appears to eat, but she is repelled by a much larger predator, a Giganotosaurus. They eventually make it to Claire. Alan, Ellie, and Maisie are exploring caverns when they come across dinosaurs, prompting them to flee until they reach the outside world. Meanwhile, Ian spits on Dodgson for his actions, and Dodgson fires him. Ian collaborates with Ramsey to reconnect with Ian's friends. He assists them in escaping the dinosaurs by releasing them from the enclosure. Dodgson then destroys evidence by setting fire to the locust lab. The flaming locusts break free and start flying around. Alan, Ellie, Ian, and Maisie try to outrun a large dinosaur in a van but get thrown down a hill. They fortunately land near Owen, Claire, and Kayla, reuniting the former two with Maisie. Claire also meets Ellie, and Owen meets Alan. The Giganotosaurus then stalks the group, almost capturing Maisie, but she escapes. Ian repels it by inserting a burning cloth into its mouth. While the heroes plot their escape, Biosyn begins to burn, forcing the employees to flee. Dodgson tries to steal his work, and Ramsey scolds him one last time before leaving. Dodgson tries to flee in the monorail, but is pursued by a trio of Dilophosaurus, who devour him. Beta encounters the heroes and is sedated so that they can safely transport her. They are also discovered by Wu, who has discovered a way to alter the locust's DNA in order to stop their spread. The Giganotosaurus reappears just as the group is about to leave, but is caught between the T-Rex and a Therizinosaurus. The humans flee to avoid the dinosaur fight, which ends when the T-Rex pushes the Giganotosaurus into the claws of the Therizinosaurus. Alan and Ellie rekindle their romance after returning to safety and later travel to Washington, D.C. to testify against Biosyn. Wu's work is successful in halting the spread of the locust. Owen, Claire, and Maisie return home, where they reunite Beta and Blue. Blue gives Owen one last look before heading back into the forest. One final voiceover declares that in order for dinosaurs and humans to coexist, they must adapt.